Welcome to the Michelle Roy Show.
Welcome back to another Michelle Roy show. I'm so happy that you're here, whether you're listening to me in the kitchen, in the car, or cuddle up in your own bed. Thank you for being here. Today's episode, we're going to talk about taking care of our hearts, not just physically, but really emotionally and mentally and spiritually, which is very important for us to tend, especially when our lives are a mess and there's so many other different things that are causing us to feel weighed down. So I want you to take your favorite drink, deep breath, and let's connect together. Life has been difficult for me in the last few years, navigating trigeminal neuralgia, fibromyalgia, and Lyme's disease. And to be very honest, it can be sometimes really a weight on me. And perhaps you can feel the same. Maybe you're not facing a health crisis right now, but maybe it's financially, emotionally, or with children or teenagers having issues. There's so many different aspects of life that keeps getting in our way. And how do you take care of it? How do you take care of it for yourself? How do you tend to your heart so that you have the resilience strength to continue going forward? So I want to share with you a little bit about what's going on in my life. Recently, I've been to one of my consultants and I felt very defeated coming back from the consultation. I feel a lot of times that I take a step forward and three backwards with my health. And one of the main takeaway from this time with the doctor was to really try to keep my stress levels down so that my pain levels came down, because pain increases your stress and your stress increases your pain, and it's a vicious cycle. You feel the same sometimes, that you feel like you're in a hamster wheel and it's just difficult. It is hard. And I was really not feeling very well coming back from Dublin. It's a big long trip, and of course sleep is difficult. But it made me stop and made me stop and think about it. And this is what I want to share with you today. A lot of people right now are facing grief and bereavement and loss. And how do you tend to your heart during that time? How do you take care of yourself so that you can also be able to bounce back and feel stronger through it? All of us are facing different crises at different times. So I wanted to be able to share with you 3 different strategies that I've been using that's helped me. So number 1, give yourself permission to feel. Really feel it. Feel the emotions, however raw they are. If it's helpful, if it's joyful, if it's upset, frustration, or even anger, allow yourself to feel those emotions. Don't just pretend that they're not there or try to hide them under a carpet. You know how you go sweeping on the dust on the carpet, after a little while it becomes this mound? You don't want that. You want to really be able to give yourself the time to feel. What are you going through? What's happening inside of you? What are these emotions anyway? Try to understand them, because it really helps you to tend to your heart by doing that. One practice that helps me a lot to navigate my emotions is journaling. Just let my mind go free without judgment, and it helps me just have more clarity on what the emotions are. So, like I was sharing with about going to the doctor and not feeling very happy about, feeling I haven't done enough, or feeling less than, feeling that I feel like I gotten, 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards, and then another 2 steps forward and then 5 steps backwards sometimes. It can be frustrating. And I had to allow myself to feel that frustration, feel that anger. And guess what? Also give myself the love and compassion that I need to say, yes, Shelley, you're doing the best you can with what you have right now, and that's okay. So being able to be kind to ourselves is part of opening up, having a little peek, putting a little bit of light there, but then turning back to loving ourselves. And that's part of tending to our hearts and tending to the emotional part of our hearts as well. So maybe that's something you can try. Do you like journaling? How do you like to process your emotions? How do you give space to yourself? I think that's another very important thing, because right now in the world that we are living right now, it's so many different things that can really weigh us down. And I have friends in the States that have lost everything with the fires in LA. And while I'm far away, just knowing about it, it is a weight. Or there are people that lost loved ones here. close by, or other friends that have passed away unexpectedly. And all of that can be combining, cause a lot of emotional turmoil for us as well. And even for me, having to stop and think about it. How can I manage myself? How can I be kind to myself during these times that I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I'm feeling, you know, like life has given me too much to take on? So I just wanted to share this. Give yourself permission to feel it and to remember to not judge it, just to give yourself permission to know it's okay to not be okay. And this too shall pass. Time will make its own healing, right? It's part of the journey. But giving yourself that time to really look at your emotions and process it, it's really important. And second one that I want to share is about practicing self-compassion. This one I've learned the hard way, and I mean the hard way. We can be our own worst critics, and I definitely have been. You're not enough, you're not doing this enough, and you're not following up on this, you're not eating all the right food that you're supposed to, and bang, 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 instead of allowing myself a little bit more compassion. So, this one is really important. Giving yourself compassion and self compassion, which is part of love. It's self love, really. If a friend is going through a hard time and you're really trying to encourage them, you're not going to beat them up and start judging them for whatever else that's happened in their life. No, you're going to be tender and kind and really trying to your best to make sure that they're okay and that they can feel love and supported, aren't you? Yes, but then why are we so harsh on ourselves when we have to practice self-love? It's an art, and it's also of bringing us back to ourselves, is bringing us home to where we have always been, connected to the core of ourselves. So it's a process. It's not something that you can learn overnight, but it's small steps that can really help. And another way of practicing self-love, at least for me, of course, is trying to be kinder to myself. Remember the things that I can't control, but what are the things that I can control? Trying meditation and affirmations, like I'm doing the best I can, and that's enough for right now. Showing that and allow myself to feel it, it's another really important thing. Because this is another thing that, like I said, I had to learn the hard way. Self-compassion. It's a beautiful way of showing love, tenderness, acceptance, and grace for ourselves. So maybe you can try that as well. Incorporate it in your practice as a way of tending to your heart. Because let's face it, our heart's what guides us, keeps us going. It has our passion, our desires. It's all there. And we need to make space for it and show ourselves love and compassion. And yeah, this is a little quote that I read. Compassion is a powerful act of self-love. And when we practice it, we build resilience. And that's part of our journey, is to build resilience within ourselves so that whatever comes our way, we're able to face it every single time with more grace, more strength, more resilience. We have there. It's a little muscle that has to keep practicing and keep stretching it. And the third but very important part of tending to our hearts is connection. Lean into connection. And I know this is one of the hard things to do, especially if you have gone through a very difficult time, if you have lost a loved one, or if you're going through a health crisis. You don't want to be around people. We tend to isolate ourselves, but it's actually one of the worst things for us. So for me, during like this week, as I'm sharing with the bad news that I've been receiving, is just feel like everything was all around me. I was able to share that with my small group in church, and I felt so loved and so supported and just like held. And that's part of connection. That's part of reaching out to a friend, to a family member, to a loved one, to a community that you have, so that you can feel that support, because your heart needs that. You need it. I need it. We are not meant to be in an island. We're meant to have connection with each other. We're meant to learn from each other. And that's how we find real strength, not alone, but with others. because when we're falling down, they can come up and pick us up. And then when they're down, we can pick them up as well. So it's a two-way conversation, you know. I know sometimes our pride can get in the way. I know it's not easy to ask for help, but it's important. It's important for our hearts. It's important for us to be able to grow through it. So these are the little strategies that I've been incorporating, and I hope that you can incorporate in your own life. And if you're going through a really difficult time right now, I am sorry. I do hope that these little strategies can help you. So just to recap, number one, give yourself permission to feel without judgment. Really important. Don't judge yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be loving to yourself. Okay. Number two is apply self compassion to yourself. Self compassion is something that you have to work on, but the more you do it, the better it is for you. And number three, find connection. There's so many avenues out there. And if you don't have a circle or a small group or a friend right now, there's so many of them. Like even the Inner Circle Wellness with Chris Carr, I feel it's a real good resource for people that are going through pain and navigating change in their life. I'll put the link in the description below as well. But whatever it is, don't allow yourself to be isolated from others, because we need each other. And sharing your story is also a really great way of being able to feel better and know that you're not alone, that there's other people that are also facing trials and tribulations, and we are here to uphold each other, right? So, look, before we conclude this episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening, and I would love to hear from you. It makes me so happy to know that there's someone out there actually listening to me, and that these stories and the different things I'm sharing makes a difference in your life. So please tell me, what are the things that you do to tend to your heart? What are the things that you do when you face challenges? Share different things that help you, and maybe that can help other people as well. And on the next few episodes, I would actually really like to be able to compile these different stories and just different tips from you, the listener, so that we can share and help other people as well. So please connect with me at connect@michelleroyce.com, or on Instagram, Mitch Royce, or on YouTube, Michelle Royce. I just think I'm everywhere right now. So please do connect and let me know what you think about it. Follow, subscribe, and help spread the word as well. Okay. I really am so grateful to be here, and I'm very grateful for you and everything you're doing. Have a wonderful, beautiful week, and may God bless you and continue to find joy. Bye bye.
This was the Michelle Roy Show.